bank, they will be told so many things. So one of the things we need to make sure that whatever money they are looking for, there is a business, it's an investment. And that needs to be guided. So as ICRISAT, we are actually providing training to these women groups in financial literacy, in how to design a business that is bankable, that is sustainable. And even more important, we need to start looking at what can this business do in order to become more profitable. If we are talking of crops, for example, sorghum, millets, or groundnuts, there has to be value addition. Today, if you buy in the supermarket peanut, it's these women in the rural areas who are producing that groundnuts. So our job is to make sure that those women, first of all, they are trained with the right skills for producing that groundnuts. And that groundnuts, it should maintain good quality, but also they should be linked to these processors who are doing now peanut as the final product. Some of the processing we can even do at cottage industry level. So we need to bring access to mechanization. It's one of the areas that is missing in agriculture. And I'm glad that ICRISAT, we work in partnership with our global offices in India, where there is a lot of mechanization to small-scale farmers like those we have here in Kenya. But they can be able to start even harvesting, with machinery, be able to process and do value addition. That business is different when somebody is just going to pluck and just sell to the next middleman. So we need to be very innovative, that the same things that they are packaging and today it's going to cost, somebody an arm and a leg to get them from these supermarkets. That has to be distributed across the whole value chain. That even the producer in the village, the women that we are seeing off-taking, they have to be sharing these profits. And we can do it with innovations and technologies.
And it's very important that we highlight this, because even Mama Jane was saying, in one of the app sounds that we just played, she was saying how it's important nowadays for them to go, you can't just sell maize. You go, you make flour, and then you sell it, and then you get more money, more in. When it comes to this 23%, difference between, paying men and women, there is, the salary gap most of the time. And as we've said, men are paid more for the same work or even for less work than us. Where do you think this gap is coming from?
I think as ladies, we also need to learn to negotiate better. When we know what we are worth, when we know what we're bringing to the table, we need to speak up and also be able to ask for what we want. What happens in the interview is that a lady will come in and say, it's okay, I'll take what it is. But a man will come here and tell you, I know what I'm worth. He may not even have the skills as much as the lady, but they still have more negotiation skills, more confidence at that table. And that is back to what we are saying. We need to hold the girls to know that they have the skills. Let them speak out. Let them not go back after an interview and say, I wish I had asked for more. Because for us at the back of the table, we are like thinking, is that all you want? Comparing to the other 10 people we have interviewed. So that's a bias that we still have. And we still need to encourage. And I think I applaud the mentorships for girls from a lower level, because that is where they gain, because it's easier to mold them at a younger level than what we're doing now. For example, at Optimax Group, we're intentional to give internship to the ladies. We are intentional that a good performing lady will come in and be taken and employed. But how many of them will reach that level to come to the internship level? So let us start building them and molding that confidence.
And then, of course, there's the elephant in the room nowadays. There is unpaid domestic care and work. We still are within, very traditional, most of the time, settings where a woman is the one who's expected to, take care of all the domestic work. And nowadays, you are expected, or most women are expected to chip into, the daily spendings of the family. A lot of people do say, economy meharibika. So you're chipping in, but then you leave work in the evening, and then you still have to cook, take care of the babies, put them to sleep. Judy, where do you think, what do you think we should be doing in order to change this mindset?
Yeah, and it's one of the issues that actually continues to perpetuate, one, the gender pay gap, but also the inequalities And I think it's also a factor of socialization. So it is assumed as women that is your work. But we are also in a situation, or we are in an era where women are also going to work. So we need to be able to share this burden and to share it in a way that also allows women to be able to progress further in their careers and in the workplace. So what is happening is that, and if you compare a man and a woman who are starting their careers at the same time, it will reach a point where the man progresses way much faster, has more earning power. Why? Because the woman at some point had to stop. She had to, of course, you know, perform her childbearing duties. She had to, you know, care for the homestead. And so she's often left behind in terms of her ability to actually even scale up the ranks. And so one of the ways we can actually begin to address this is to have these conversations around how do we share the care burden.
Right.
Because